We are officially starting our Bold Moves podcast. My name is Matthew, and I have my co-host Rachel. Rachel, say hi.
Hi, how are y'all?
This is going to be our first episode, so we're kind of working out some kinks, we're working out some bugs. We're sitting in the nice Workuity office where we have a nice little pod set up, and so this is going to be fun. But we just wanted to kind of talk about our stories, talk about, what we're going to be talking about with other people, which is bold moves. Primarily, people who have taken risks, who have kind of jumped into the unknown, if you will, either with like their business or their personal life, or just any type of like adventure, and like what came of it, like what turned out, like did it go well, did it go bad, what did you learn from it? I mean, I think a lot of those things are going to be pretty cool. What do you think, Rachel? Because I know when we were talking about the idea, you kind of had some really good ideas about, who we should, talk to and how we should, what we should talk about and what questions and whatnot.
Definitely. I feel like sales in general as a whole, it's hard. If it was good, everybody would do it, right? And everybody would be making $1 million and everybody would have this crazy, amazing book of business. But it's not that simple. It's getting out there, it's making yourself uncomfortable and repeating the process until you're not, right? Riding that till the wheels roll off. But I feel like I want to talk to people who, maybe haven't had that cookie cutter story of success. I want to talk to the Michael Jordans of the world. I want to talk to the people who maybe got told no 87 times and stuck with it to win that 88th time. And they didn't make their $1 million till they were 47 years old. That's who I want to talk to, for me personally. I think we have a lot of thoughts or preconceived notions about what success looks like, especially in our early 20s. And I think that angst and that feeling is something we can all resonate with, of like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not doing enough this soon, or I'm not hitting these accomplishments. And I think as we grow, we always think we're looking for that next stepping stone, that next best thing, right? So when I got married at 23, at 21, 22, I was thinking, well, if I'm not married before I'm 30 and having kids, like, my life is a failure. And that sounds crazy now at 34 to be saying, but at that mindset and the way I was raised and all of that, that is truly what I thought. And as you grow as a person, that idea of what success is changes. I want my kids to be happy, right? Of course, I want to be successful financially, but that initial goal of what I thought was the blueprint isn't. And coming into my own and establishing my own book of business way later in life, I didn't make my first 100K until I was 30 years old. I didn't start off having a super duper easy journey. I started off my journey in insurance in 2017, and I was making a whole 55K, but I was happy with that. My kids were 2 and 4. Husband had just gotten out of the military, very suddenly medically discharged, honorably discharged, but he was sleepwalking. So it was immediate. Like, our family was just back into civilian life after, I think you can relate, living that lifestyle for so long. To go back to that, I was blessed that at the time USA gave me a job in my first start in insurance. But I realized, being captive, I was limited with what I could do for people. And I knew that I was meant for a different company, maybe a different angle, but I did like insurance. I did like teaching somebody something that was hard, or maybe something that they didn't have a good experience with.